So just as a little asterisk that's worth tacking on to basically all decks and segments during, new cards being dropped. This is just one draft of this. I would be very surprised if this build is optimal, but it's a starting point to jump in at. For example, one notable omission in my deck filled with dragons is that I am not playing actual copies of the Sky's Descend. I could see that being a card worth playing. We'll obviously occasionally have some of them with Orion Sol, but it's not a punt because Riot prorates bundles based on what you already own. God blast you, Riot! Why must you be so consumer friendly and prorate the bundle based on what I already own? Don't you understand? You should treat your customers like human ATM machines and take advantage of them at every possible junction. All right. At any rate, I think there's a good chance to me that something with dragons is going to be competitive this season because they gave us multiple good 2-drops. And last season, the Demacia Dragons deck really felt like that was its weak spot. It felt like you didn't have enough. It felt like you didn't have enough 2-drops to consistently have early gameplay. Hey, Fox, thank you for the biddies. I really appreciate that. I'll get that built up for the morning. I didn't get a chance to do a sub message, but wanted to say I can't afford a sub every month, but the little bit I can add in to help you never play Magic again. I like Runeterra. I would like to make this my permanent card game home, and I appreciate the support. Maury PR, thank you for the 16 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I have this one pulled up to start because I think Dragon Guard Lieutenant is probably the best of the new 2-drops we've gotten. A 3-2 Challenger for 2 is basically the rate, is a very good rate for this type of effect. A 3-2 for 2 is an okay rate on base stats, and being able to interact with something with it is also very powerful. Lampton coming in with the absurdly generous tier 3 sub. Welcome, welcome. My tier 3 subs, as a thank you for that absurd level of support, can submit a deck to be played every month on stream. So if you've got something sweet for Runeterra you'd like to see come up, be sure to submit it using the form on my website there, and we'll get to it real soon. Egghead Researcher was another 2-drop. I think you want the last opponent's deck. Sounds fantastic. I will make a note of that. Egghead Researcher, while not adding as much to the board immediately, does impact the board a little bit and generates value. So that's very sweet. The new cornerstone that we gained in this deck was Shyvana, new dragon champion that costs 4. 3/4, she gets bigger for the turn when she attacks, and she levels pretty quickly. She levels when she's seen dragon allies deal 12 plus total damage, and this includes herself. So she's dealing 4 of that when she attacks. She's dealing 3 of it when she blocks. And notably, Shyvana is very good in this archetype because we have Herald of Dragons as a 2-drop, which makes dragon allies cost 1 less. So having 6 really good 4-mana dragons in Shyvana as well as White Flame Protector means that we can curve Herald of Dragons into these 4-drops on turn 3. Now, the last 2-drop I'm playing in the 2 slot in this deck is Stony Suppressor, because this card seems really good against the Lee Sin decks and other control decks in the format. She makes all spells cost 1 more here. We have a few spells in our own deck in Dragon's Clutches, Single Combat, and Bastion, but definitely not a ton overall. The top end of our deck has some good chunk in it, so we've got Mind Splitter, which is a fantastic board control card that also beats down very quickly. We've got Orion Sol as the big daddy dragon. I feel like it's worth mentioning with him. I'm not certain that it's worth going as big as Orion Sol in this deck. I think there's a chance you could possibly be winning with like the 4 to 5 cost dragons. That being said, another new dragon that we got was Eclipse Dragon, and I feel like I would be mistaken to not at least test Eclipse Dragon into Orion Sol. So the Daybreak trigger on here is the next dragon or celestial unit you play costs 2 less. So you can Eclipse Dragon on 7 and then Orion Sol on 8. So yeah, there's a chance that Mind Splitter is significant top end, but I want to try Eclipse Dragon into Orion Sol at least for one session because they're really sweet and I want to try them together. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it goes. Like I said, I think there's probably a lower to the ground, more mid-rangey build of this that like only plays some Mind Splitters at the top end, but I want to do the sweet thing at least once to start. Alright, we're going to mulligan Orion Soul for sure here. They're also playing a Dragon's deck, but they're pairing with Leona, so they probably likely have a Daybreak package, which is interesting. I'm going to keep the rest of these.
Bless the faithful and sear the heretics.
Sear the heretics. She's a Power Ranger. That's a good summary of her. Yeah, in fact, this opponent looks to be playing something similar to what I'm talking about, where they're probably a lower to the ground, more mid-rangey build. I think is exceedingly likely.
Unyielding light.
Power Rangers don't turn into dragons. I mean, they have Zords, though. Their Zords are kind of like dragons.
I'm glad for your help. There's much to learn in defeat.
You seem like you got a lot to learn.
She looks more like a villain than an actual Ranger. She does have kind of Rita Repulsa vibes, huh? Is a Zord like a sword? A Zord is like a robot. Think like a Gundam, Hamblin, if you know what that is. They're like giant robots they get inside of. Yeah, mech machines.
The fight just isn't the same without you, Anna.
I am always here when you need me. The dawn has arrived. With its light, the Solari will I am the bulwark against darkness.
It's been a hot second since I've seen the Daybreak curve, huh? This package has fallen out of favor a little bit previous seasons.
Glorious light rains down.
Good. 1, 2, 3, 4 curve out here.
Prepare for battle.
I think I'm just treating these. Yeah, this is the dial-up dragon. He's very good. Big agree. Are you opening on attacks? Do you have It's Always Sunny in Runeterra? What's the play, opponent? Shyvana, notably not seen any dragons deal damage yet.
Daylight, everlasting.
Solari control all the
Explain the dial-up dragon reference. Listen to the sound this makes when it comes into play in a second. This game should hopefully last long enough to put that card into play.
Devotion through battle.
Easiest chump block of my life. So I have 8 resources here. So if I play White Flame Protector, I actually can Bastion this still, or Bastion whatever she's gonna stun, if they play a Daybreak card, which I think is good. So the problem with playing the Herald and the White Flame Protector, Gendy, is then my opponent has better attacks, because Shyvana was stunned there. So if I don't play the 5-drop, my opponent has the opportunity, if I play the 1/1, to attack with everything, which isn't great for me. So I think we Bastion here. How's this deck been? You're watching the very first game with this deck. I have a single combat here. there some way to pop this? How's life? I mean, global pandemic aside, my life is alright.
Behold the sun's holy light.
Think we just pass here now? Don't have great attacks into their board with that stunned. We're 2 turns off a dial-up dragon. We're going up to 7 mana next turn. They have a single combat here to eat my Shyvana. We're going to be in a pretty bad spot. And I, like, played one pretty aggressively there, so I could see them having a second. It's an Orient Soul. Have 7 total mana, so I can go Herald, Clutches, and single combat this turn. Okay, so in response to this, we're going to give dragons +1/+1, and then single combat these 2. If they have a single combat of their own, we're still okay, right? At all? I'll do pig.
We rise.
So, that lets them stun my stuff twice.
This will not stand.
Leveling Leona on 4. Still very reasonable, turns out. Oh, Logan, if you want to submit Frostbite Kench, we can call the deck Ash Kench'em. Gotta Kench 'em all. It's perfect. I have 2 children, I can make that joke. Okay? I have 3 children. Yeah, I do. Listen, the number just recently changed, okay? I promise, Haley, if you're watching this in the future, I do love you. I am just old and my brain is addled. Timeout Jeff for forgetting about his 3rd child. That only seems fair.
The skies darken with their approach.
Well, that's terrifying.
Dragon blood, Demacian heart.
Let the blood boil, half-dragon.
Boxtopus has incredible voice lines, I agree.
gods, we are nothing.
To battle!
I think we block here to level her, right?
There are none like me.
Alright, I think we just dial up Dragon, right?
She spoke, and the galaxies listened.
They can't Ruination because it currently costs 10. Now, unfortunately, I do just have to pass here. Because this is not stunned yet. It'll be stunned this turn. Okay, that gives us an Orient Sol next turn, right?
Many tribes under one.
Okay, here's a question. Do I want to Orient Sol next turn? Or do I want to draw 4 dragons here? Or 3 dragons and a Celestial. Do I want a Daybreak or do I want a Nightfall? I probably just want an A-Sol next turn, right? Like, these are gonna draw plenty of things. Better call A-Sol, chat. How do we feel about single combating? Probably not good. Want this to die by mistake.
Calm mind and open heart greet the night.
They have the kill a damage unit spell. That's a noxious spell. I think I'm just gonna pass for now. I think the plan here is level Orient Sol.
They think themselves cultured.
I have Bastion available here right now as well. Yeah. Hail to the king, baby. Do I attack? What if I attack? What if I attack with these two? What can go wrong? I think I leave Dial-Up Dragon back because I don't want to lose him to a deal 3, but I think this attack is good.
Defiance is our way.
Wonder at my creations.
Alright, do they open on Ruination? If they don't open on Ruination, I've got Moonglow now. This is why you call Assault, chat.
Dragons have no remorse.
Playing the early Orient Soul was very, very good there. Getting to play it ahead of curve with the Eclipse Dragon. Alright, Stony Suppressor's probably not good. This game is pay to win. I can't beat opponents who have emotes. That's true, it is. The emote meta is established pay to win. None of these were the cheaper dragons I was hoping to mulligan into. That, ooh, perfect. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted for Christmas, right? If we can play this on 6, we can play him on 7.
I'm something of an aspiring trichologist. I'll follow where I can.
I kind of expect this Herald to die before we get to play this.
Dragon blood, Demacian heart. Let the blood boil, half-dragon.
The Kench emote is up there. The Kench emote is like Juice Box or is like Juice Box or Fizz Shoulders tier.
The guilty will bend.
Oh, the stickers are so good.
I'm glad for your help. There's much to learn in the field.
You seem like you've got a lot to learn.
Am I saving this with Astral Protection? What's Behold? Behold means if you have the thing you're looking to behold in play or in your hand. So this gains Challenger, which means they have a dragon in their hand. We're unfortunately going to lose this. The good news is, if we survive into the late game, our hand is just like pure gasoline. Perfect. And we hit some 4-mana dragons here. So we'll have a play the next couple of turns.
As foretold. I am more than I seem.
So we're at 5 resources, so it'll be 6 on their turn, 7 on our next turn, so we'll get to play Orient Sol on their next turn.
Come hither, you beasts of glory!
Am I willing to trade this for their Challenger plus Pale Cascade again? Yeah, I think so. Because they could just make that trade on their next turn anyways, because this has Challenger, and this way if they don't have it, I get a hit in.
Shape the skies and mold the earth!
This is a great pickup. We'll be able to go 4+2 this turn. Yep. Oh, there's no Orient Sol in their deck. Okay. Slightly less worried.
Prepare for battle.
Yikes. We need it. Really needed this turn. Leave us dead to open attacks. Like I said, we need to be able to survive into the late game, and we're just not going to get there.
Follow where I can.
Yeah, the whole general look and feel of their IP is really good, Seagal. For sure. Ash Sajani, okay. This could be a matchup where Stony Suppressor is okay. They tend to have a number of combat tricks. It might be right to mulligan this. I'm gonna keep it and see how it feels. Hey, what's going on, Empire? The Kench deck that we played felt very reasonable against mid-range and control, and very mediocre against aggressive decks. Good evening, Blue Perfection. Thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream wherever you're at. The Stony Suppressor stack, yeah, it should. I would assume.
The trap is set. Hot on the trail.
You can just treat here. Obviously, they could have a trick, but we're gonna need to get through those at some point anyways. Why is Dragonling having a dragon tag meaningful? Like, what does it do for the dragon archetype? I guess it, like, technically counts for this dealing damage, but I don't feel like the other cards, dragons that you're playing, really lend yourself to playing a bunch of spells.
Knocked and ready.
No reason to attack in. Spell grant an ally challenger. It's not bad.
I am watching you, dragon.
Will no one listen?
Yeah. I don't know if this card's good in general in the format. It's definitely amazing against Lee Sin, though. Yeah, that much I am certain. Can I just give this challenger and hook another 3/3 here? I'm kind of into that. It does. She does kind of look like she's making a bear, doesn't she? Guess it could be a fox. I just get harsh winds. Boo. Well, boo. I think it's a badger. Could be.
I need just a moment. Line up! For glory! Face me! I'll do it myself.
I'm through waiting. Arrows at the ready.
Hey, Kindle B, thank you for the 15 months. Glad to see Jeff living out my childhood fantasy of playing with dragons. Thanks for keeping me around. Hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. I'm not leveling Orion Saul regardless, so I think I trade this here. This is almost ready to level.
They think themselves cultured.
I would not have joined their cause were they not.
All the world on one arrow.
Pretty sure we attack so we can level this. I'm about to get double flash freezed. Really? Okay.
Witness my true power!
She's ready to level. Well, poop.
Hot on the train.
Avarosa, guide me!
All of these are slow cards, right? So we're not dead. We can Bastion this, but we're still pretty far behind. One is not none and all that jazz. Well.
Guide our
That's definitely a dragon. Okay. Okay. We're halfway there. Living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. I think we start with Dragon Guard Lieutenant to see if they, like, play out something like a Sejani here.
A gift from Avarosa.
That actually works out really well for us. Still not out of the woodworks, but, you know. We're not dead on board at least yet. We have 5 cards in hand.
Blade secure the kill.
A little game I like to play called Every Threat My Opponent Can Play is Lethal. Rough. Turns out Ash is still very good. Trundle Swain. So this is going to be like a mid-range control deck. I think we mulligan the single combat. I'm going to keep the Dragon's Clutches because it's a draw 2. This into this is an okay curve. We're attacking on even, so that's fine. Orient Soul's a decent pickup. We can live to get there. This is the type of card that can go over the top of mid-range deck.
We wear red to honor the fallen.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment, Nola Gold. Traditionally speaking, the Freljord decks tend to be good against Demacia mid-range because of how Frostbites line up into combat-based removal. I think I just burned their mana here. I'm losing 1 mana technically, but like I'm trading 1 mana for their 3, so I think that's a good exchange for me.
I found a home among the Dragon Guard.
I feel like the Noxious Landmark's probably better suited to pair with things that regenerate out of Freljord if you wanted to play Noxious with it. I guess you always strike their weakest unit, so it does let you pick off things you frostbitten technically. Maybe that's fine. I would kind of expect Toolboxer that Lee Sin's not going to be super popular on the ladder for like the next week at least, because people are going to just want to play with new cards. I expect it's still very reasonable, but there's usually like a week or so where people are like, oh, I just want to play with new things. It's a great pickup. Get to continue to curve nicely here. Sure. Speaking of, it looks like what this opponent might be doing. They've got Trundle in here.
Leaping into action.
That's quite the animation. If I play this and they play Trundle, I'm kind of sad, so I guess I just open on attacks. Enemies with 4 power or less cannot damage me. Okay. That's a good one. And this is why the card pool getting bigger is really sweet, right? Like old cards like this that weren't particularly good have new synergies as more cards get added to the card pool. This game's gonna be really awesome. Like, it's already great, but it's gonna be, like, exceptional a year from now when they have 2 more regions in and the other regions are fleshed out more. The deck building is going to be fantastic. Feel like, especially if Riot knocks it out of the park with whatever these seasonal tournaments are going to be that they announced that are coming up. Hopefully we get details on those soon. I think we just do this, right? This lets us Orient all next turn. These can trade. Yeah, so far my opponent has not been able to leverage this to gain any sort of advantage.
Hello, Runeterra. Let's rock.
Yes, yeah, fighting does count for Swain, so their Swain is leveled up here. Oh, I wonder if they have Noxious Guillotine here. They can pop the Spell Shield and then kill Asol. I think that's probably still fine, right? Like, I've got another one here. I've got plenty of other booms. Like, we get to play this next turn into another Oriensol on my following turn. This is exactly the type of matchup where Oriensol really shines. My opponent's playing a mid-range deck and he just goes way over the top of them. Well, Scorched Earth doesn't pop the Spell Shield. So if they have Scorched Earth, they need another card with it to pop the Spell Shield first. Guillotine pops it on its own because you pop it and then make a fleeting card to actually kill it.
Oh, don't get a move on.
Blade's Edge? Probably not. I don't think that kills quite enough. Doesn't seem worthwhile just for popping spell shields. Like in my opponent's archetype, for example, Troll Chance, a much better way to pop spell shield. Because it's a card that like breaks the spell shield and still gives you some utility on your board instead of just breaking the spell shield. Opponent playing Tahm Kench. Hopefully we can prevent them from kenching them all. Stony Suppressor sounds good here. You want to mulligan one of the Bastions? Actually, I'm probably mulliganing both of them from me playing Suppressor, huh? Yeah, it's not like Magic Toolbox. Your Spell Shield only stops the parts of the spell that would hit the Spell Shield thing. Yes, you're really capturing them all. Correct. It is a pun that also describes what the deck is looking to do.
Nothing escapes my watch.
Do I want to draw a couple of dragons here? Probably not. I have my curve lined up. I guess I don't have anything to do on 6. Like, this is 4, this is 5. Yeah, we'll do this for some dragons. Here there be dragons. Yeah, Blue Man, it's mostly that I don't think my deck has a ton of counterplay against Lee Sin, and Stony Suppressor is very good against Lee Sin.
Scrutinize something scrumptious.
Well, Kench is a hungry boy, chat. I think we just have to feed him. Like we can't stop playing units, right?
I confess to a weakness for both.
I think unfortunately they're going to Kench them all, chat.
Appetizers of plenty.
This is actually a really good draw, right?
Suffer my fury.
Yeah, we'll open attack, hit for 4. They are gonna Kench them all, chat. They're gonna Kench them all.
Excuse my impertinence. I'm sure there's something for my tastes.
Yeah, there's a lot of different pairings that work well with Kench. It's going to be interesting to see what ends up being the most competitive between Frostbite and Targon Healing.
Come on in.
So next turn, we're going to make these 5 power attack hook this and hope for the best.
Call me king! Call me demon!
You can see the Demacian border from here.
Yep.
The river always provides.
Water forgets the name of the drowned. That's probably accurate.
I did promise a safe return. Appetizers of plenty.
Okay, so do we want to Orion Sol next turn? I think so. Is Riot the one that makes the tracker? No, it's a third-party tool. Set fire to him. Thanks for the pass.
Let us peruse this establishment's fare.
Burn, baby, burn. Mana Inferno. Do 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 do. Beep do 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 do. The catfish doesn't heckle Oriental. I'm disappointed, right? I would like a voice line commissioned immediately. I need Cosmic Space Dragon heckling New Orleans Catfish Demon, please. It is something I need in my life.
Oh, do get a move on. Come on in.
So, if Kench doesn't attack this turn, I can get back that dragon.
Sublime. My, how they stare.
How they stare. So, what do we want to lead on here? I think it's Stony Suppressor. This makes my single combat cost more, but they're pretty likely to multi-spell this turn. So I think taxing their resources sounds useful here. Catfish Demon versus Cosmic Space Dragon really highlights some of the joys of this IP, though. What other strange kinds of creatures exist in the League of Legends universe that are going to eventually be added to this game?
We wear red to honor the fallen.
Void monsters. What's a void monster? Kaugma? Someone link me a picture of Kaugma. Like Cthulhu.
Faster than my arrow? I think not.
I think not. Alright, so do we single combat Kench here now and get my dragon back? The odds of them being able to break Spell Shield and disrupt this with 5 mana and my suppressor in play is really low. Cthulhu was an accurate description. My opponent is, in fact, not going to Kench them all. Cosmic Space Dragon 1.
Freedom tomorrow.
Bayou Catfish Demon 0. Alright, Misfortune Gangplank. This is what we want to see, chat. Definitely mulliganing Mind Splinter. I think I'm keeping the rest of these. Could go either way, though. Maybe I'm supposed to mulligan, Shyvana. No 1-drop is incredibly good for the home team, chat.
With a little time, I'll have a break.
Bracken are a race of sentient crystal insects that share a hive mind stretching back to ancient times.
No prey, no pay. Fresh out of mercy. Love ya.
Was hoping they wouldn't attack if I passed with resources. You know, Maybe I'm supposed to just bank mana there and hold that egg as a +1/+1? Because I really didn't need more dragons, huh? I know that sounds sacrilegious to say, but...
It's absolutely stellar.
Dr. Mundo is the only league champion with a PhD and it's in pain. God bless. Yeah, like, could you imagine here if I could have given that +1/+1? We'd be much better off than having, like, 2 other random dragons over here.
This doesn't change a damn thing between us.
If you insist.
Oh my god, I just played the wrong card. Alright, well now we'll concede the embarrassment. We were probably dead there regardless, but I definitely intended to play Dragon Reducer plus 3 mana dragon. Yikes, that's unfortunate. Heimer probably has a PhD in something. Yeah, that's a good observation. I'm gonna mulligan these two, looking for a 4, I think. I'm gonna keep the interactive card. Perfect, so we can go Herald into White Flame Protector here now. I mean, is it really a blowout if they're 1-for-1ing me with it, Artificer? Like, you're right, it would feel bad if they interacted with me, but I think that definition, your definition of a blowout there is a little bit off.
The power is unimaginable, even now!
This world has such great potential. Go no further.
So this gives them a heal trigger, but I think it's worth putting 3 damage on here. Could be wrong.
I will find the goodness in you, River King.
Hope only provides temporary sustenance, child.
That lets me do this with a single combat here.
Never again will we fall to dragon fire.
Oh, I don't require a menu.
We are nothing!
Let's start with this attack. Get our free 5 points of damage in, see who they decide to eat. I assume it's gonna be this.
Oh, I'll be happy to accommodate, Pablo.
That was not the 4-drop dragon I was hoping to generate. I assume they're gonna eat my ramp guy here. Yeah, it's really not good for us.
Allow me a small sip.
Put me in, Tommy boy!
Oh, I'll be happy to accommodate, Pablo. Appetizers aplenty. Let us reap.
Ooh, you wee scruff!
Here they come.
We just do this. I blocked here, so that way this has a harder time eating our dragon this turn. Notice I said harder time, not an impossible time. I would like the record to reflect.
Come on in.
Yikes.
I don't require a menu.
When we were playing the opponent's archetype earlier, it felt really good against decks like what we were playing, these kind of mid-range.
Excuse my impertinence. Come along! There's room for everyone.
Kench is very powerful. I think if you can figure out how to build a Kench deck that doesn't just die to aggressive strategies, there's probably some goodies to be had for you.
Establishment's fair. River always provides.
No more of your crap soup, lassie, please! It's that soap! You've been treating.
Alright, my dragons are all slightly harder to digest now. Not impossible, just slightly more difficult.
Be happy to accommodate, Pablo.
I make shepherding look easy.
Oh, they're just planning to win with this, huh?
Appetizers of plenty.
Whale poop. All right. So to give some thoughts on where we ended up with this, I feel like my initial thoughts at the start of the set where this is probably too much top end and what's going on here is accurate. I feel like Shyvana specifically kind of wants to be in a different deck from Oriensol. I think there's probably a Targon control deck that wants to curve Eclipse Dragon into Oriensol. That was very good at different points. But I feel like whatever Shyvana wants to be doing probably wants to be lower curve. And honestly, I'm not sure if we want any of these at the top end. So yeah, I think this is an idea, and there's probably stuff worth exploring around her still, but these two things together are not flavors that taste good together. So I would probably try and separate those out, yeah. All right, at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up and call it an evening because I am planning to be live for my normal morning stream tomorrow morning. If you're a new viewer dropping in from the Runeterra section, thanks for dropping by. I'm doing a ton of Runeterra content this month. I'm here basically every morning during the week, Monday through Friday. I'm also doing a Saturday morning Runeterra stream this week. This normal evening segment, I usually do variety stuff, so tomorrow night I'm going to be playing Undertale, Baldur's Gate 3, Horizon Zero Dawn. But if you're just interested in Runeterra stuff, Thursday and Friday morning as well as Saturday, I'll be back playing lots of new stuff from the set. All of the decks we played this evening were viewer submissions. You have a sweet deck idea you'd like to see played on stream at some point in the future, you can submit it while supporting my content on my website there. If you missed any of the decks that we played or you can't catch live in the morning but you enjoy the way I play and the variety of decks that we go through, you can check out my YouTube channel as well. Everything I play gets archived there, cut up deck by deck, so it's easy to find just the content that you care about, especially when there's lots of new things to be trying early on. Everybody stay safe out there wherever in the world, and hopefully I'll see some of you in the morning.